today. All right, so we are here today to talk about the career opportunities per se in the IT field. For guessing that we have students that are now embarking on their journey, and we, myself, including Kishore and Kirby Ann, have been on this journey before. All right, getting into the realm of IT technology, which is the realm that every area and an organization is going to be part of. It is no longer just a area that was just for the technology inclined or those who are in the technology department, but every department within an organization is going to have technology, and not just in our organizations and where we may be working, but in our lives. It is going to be circumventing everything that we are doing, or being a tool for us to use somehow to advance whatever tasks or jobs that we have within our realm or scope of our daily activities. All right. No longer, as I said, it's just looked at as something for the technology inclined. All right. But doctors are using it, mechanics. All right. Technology is everywhere around us. We cannot get away from it. All right. So hopefully what we discussed today in this career class, we'll be able to at least see how we can shed some light and direction for those of you all listening that are on this same journey. All right. So we have limited time. We have just about 30 minutes. And some of the questions that I fielded and thought about, etc., could have us even talking for more than that. So we'll try to keep it as short and sweet as possible to at least give you some insight into it, the following into the technology realm. All right, as well as give you some feedback that might be able to guide you accordingly or shape where you are headed. All right, so being that as it is, the listening audience, feel free. I'm not sure if you all are going to be able to disturb us as much and ask questions as we go through, but definitely we'll have some question and answer offerings as we go forward. So to jump into it quickly, all right. So again, each question that I will ask Kirby Ann and Kishon, all right, I will give my brief synopsis of it as well. All right. So as we move forward, one of the first things that I will say that that pushes us or ushers us into the realm of information technology will be it either being something that we envision to do, or it was probably that's thrown in our lap. And for me, in my instance, it was kind of put into my lap in terms of I didn't see it as a vision as to where I was going to head. But as soon as I started doing my first course straight out of school, it was something that I latched onto, and it was like second nature for me. So I continued to excel and move forward in courses and classes that would have helped strengthen what I was doing in the workplace as well. All right. So for both you, Kishon and Kirby, if you can share us a little bit for us, how you delved into this career path to get you to where you are today. What introduced you to it? What inspired you to pursue a career in IT?
Should I go first?
Ladies first.
Well, for me, I started my career in the field of accounting and finance. I started working at the bank. So I was a little bit, being on your like sitting all day was not really my thing, counting money. I needed some more excitement in my life. So I decided to leave the bank and go study something that I saw the world at some point in time that, I saw that the world was going down that path at some point. So I decided to step into the information technology field. I began my studies at UWI-ROYTEC, and after there, I was able to get into, I started my first job was at TSTT as a OJT. And from there, I'm where I am now. I'm at the Ministry of National Security, working as an ICT technical officer. So But it was just more or less for me, I needed something that would have kept me on my feet. Because I'm not a person to really, I don't like to stay stagnant too much. So I wanted to do something different, and that's more or less what sparked my decision to go down the IT field.
All right, all right. Kishon, anything you want to share on your experience getting into?
Well, I'm realizing here that me and Kirby had a similar path because my first job was in the bank. I worked in the bank and I then worked at TSCT. And I am associated with the finance industry a lot. But where we differ is that you actually work in an IT position right now. I don't work in a position right now. I'm actually in the US studying cybersecurity, doing my master's in cybersecurity. So I will say that I started off, my first education background would be in, well, from tertiary would be in electrical engineering. And then I came to ROYTEC and I did project management. And because I was in ROYTEC already, because when I was doing project management, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I had a sister-in-law who was also in the field. And when I spoke to her about it, I realized that is where I wanted to be. Because electrical engineering was because I was interested in technology, to build technology. Then I realized, well, this is not necessarily building, is this component of actually building and more like transformers and those things what T and Tech does. And I was not necessarily interested in that as much. And then I did project management because I wanted to organize things and do projects in the future. And in that period, I realized that IT is where I wanted to be. I just needed to find the place in technology I wanted to be. And I found that when I finished doing the Information Systems Associates and Bachelor's at ROYTEC, and now I am in EIU, which is Eastern Illinois University, doing the Masters in Cybersecurity. I'm in my final year starting next semester.
Right. And as I say in there, the cybersecurity, that is a major player in technology today, as anyone
It
realize, because
is.
just as technology is becoming invasive and in nearly every department, everything, cybersecurity as well is a threat that is being faced by everyone. It has, and I say everyone, even us at home, your friends and family, have to be teaching and educating them as well, ways to keep themselves safe, because keeping them not safe is going to harm even other people along the line. So it's something that is everywhere and within the technology realm now.
Yeah.
All right. So moving forward, and as I said, we are on a journey in IT in a sense, from where you all started to where you have reached now. Right. So let me ask, so you journeyed on the career path now, you've been on it, it's been changing and stuff as you've been going along with again, as I tell all of my students when I'm teaching as well too, that technology, what you learn today, you're going to have to learn new technology, probably even could be 2 years down the road.
Most
all right,
definitely.
technology is changing, and you almost, in a sense, always are in school in a sense of speaking or learning something new because of how it's changing. So what would you say things that stood out in your journey and getting your education? As you say, it started off, but for me, I started off, I say, I was on the job first, and then I started going and doing courses to start with my associate degree at NEARS at the time. It's now COSTAT, before I went on to do my degree. All right, and just kept going and upgrading my skills as needed for whatever new was coming along, the new programming language. Just recently, I started teaching myself Python. All right. So, because again, I have to keep on top of what is happening. So, give a background in a sense of how your education has been changing as you have been in the field.
Well, I started at ROYTEC in 2008. I did my associates there. At that point in time, they did not have the bachelor's program being offered as yet. So I actually waited until they did offer the bachelor's program. That took them a few years. So when they did offer it, I came back because I didn't want to go to any other school. I was comfortable with the lecturers at ROYTEC. They all know me very well because I was extremely miserable. So I came back to do the bachelor's program with ROYTEC. COVID hit. I had a little bit of a challenge there. One of the biggest challenges for me was that the final project that I had to do at ROYTEC for my bachelor's. Because at that point it was during COVID. We didn't have that hands-on
approach.
You know, that face-to-face with the lecturers, and it was a lot for me. Because I'm such an overachiever and because I'm such a perfectionist and want to be doing the most all the time, I did eventually get it done, but I think it took me a couple tries before I did get there. After that, right now, I am currently doing those online the Coursera courses. The Ministry of Digital Transformation actually offered it to us for free. I did some online courses with Google as well as Cisco in the field of cyber. So right now I'm doing the cybersecurity analyst course with Microsoft. So when it comes to education, that's where I'm at right now.
All right.
I would say for me, with regards to education, I think I had some classes with Kirby as well.
I think so. I remember your name very well.
I remember you. I had some classes with Kirby. That was maybe the most challenging thing for me as well, because I like the hands-on approach, talking to people right there. But it also kind of prepare you for the world to come, because there are a lot of IT jobs now that you don't actually touch the office at all. You work strictly from home. So getting accustomed to that as well is good for anybody who wants to venture out into IT. And then the good thing about being in ROYTEC is that your credits do transfer, everything works. So how I apply to the school that I'm in now is with my ROYTEC bachelor's. Some schools will require you to do something called GMAT or GRE, but because of COVID, some universities up here do not require that. So it was strictly based on my ROYTEC bachelor's, which hold up. So I could give everybody confidence to continue, make sure your GPA is decent. And I am here now. And I will say that what I will also encourage is the online courses. I use Udemy, and well, she said Coursera. There are others as well, and you could actually go to certain vendors like Microsoft, Google,
Cisco.
IBM,
Yeah,
Cisco, and they have a lot of courses as well. So if you know that you're in an environment where they use Microsoft, then why not? You already understand the environment. You could go to Microsoft and do courses specifically to that. How important
and also there are a lot of especially entry-level type courses that are free, like beginner courses that they offer for free as well. So I mean it's good to just still yeah.
And what I will advise, because I see somebody said here, how important is specialization in ensuring job security and career growth in IT?
Right.
From what I have seen where I am, certs, right? Certs are important. So if you want to go into networking, CCNA is a no-brainer. Or CompTIA Network Plus is a no-brainer. The thing about it is, for me, when I was in Trinidad, a lot of people in Trinidad use Cisco, so it would make sense to have CCNA. if you're looking to do stuff abroad, CCNA holds a lot of weight. But if you want to be vendor neutral, CompTIA is better in that regard, because CompTIA will teach you the same principles that CCNA will teach you, which is Cisco for networking, but it will be good for Microsoft, good for any vendor that you go to. But Cisco is more specific to their services. So, but most people use Cisco. So even if you go to a company that does not use Cisco, Cisco is still recognized. So regardless, whichever one you think is better for you, you choose that. But CIS is the way to go. Yes, bachelor's, master's, all those things are good, but the entry, just to get an entry-level position in cybersecurity, CompTIA Security Plus is required generally across the board. And there are people who don't even have masters, but maybe have a bachelor's and maybe do a boot camp or something, or learn a course online, but they have that cert. That cert holds a lot of weight. So certs hold a lot of weight in the IT industry.
Correct, very, very correct. And I will inject a little bit on that because my experience with for about 10 years, I was working with a company where some of my like the suits, etc., when they will send me on training for the equipment that we do, because some of the equipment you had to be trained by the vendors before we went to use it. So then they will send me to go and do the training. So some jobs it may be a little different. They, as you get into the job, then they will send you to learn at the companies that probably selling us the special equipment that we have to configure. So about 10 years I was being trained, and that's something that once I left that job though, it was really applicable unless I went into another company that were using some of the same equipment. So, some jobs will vary, but definitely, as Kishan was saying, you need to be certified and get as much as you can. Spare time, let's go up. Because I was doing that a lot too during the pandemic. I was on Cisco side, probably just doing a lot of their free courses and soaking in information, because it will in the long run benefit you at some point on some job or analyzing something new. And especially to it, a lot of the change in things in the face of IT that's coming up that's new. You will be giving yourself that little advantage, that little extra edge to probably get a secure a specific job, or even to be knowing about the topic at hand, or what new trends are happening, especially in cybersecurity. But there are some cybersecurity little courses you could go and do online that can give you that little extra edge that will be needed. All right. So,
but I also think it's important to have an all-round knowledge as well. That to me is where you should start, and then you build on that from you know, based on where you have your strongest, you know,
I agree.
where you know, because I think the ROYTEC Business program and the associates, it afforded me that knowledge to be able to have at least a basic understanding on networking, of database management, of programming. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I would be lost in some of the things that I have to do in my own job today. And I mean, I was able to build on that and see where my strongest points were in the field of IT, and then I know where I want to go from there.
I agree, because even in my master's, it's like some of the stuff that I learned in ROYTEC came right back. So I'm not discouraging you all from doing degrees. Degrees are very important, because even if you're not going to use part of the degree that you actually learn something about, how the world of IT works, everything is interconnected. So for you to be a proper cybersecurity professional, you have to know networking. You don't have to specify in networking, but you have to know networking. You have to know some level of coding. You have to know how databases work, because these things are the foundation of any information system.
All right. Yeah. So right there, so from all of what you'll have seen there, that has been shaping some of the questions so that I've had, like what opportunities are going to come. So again, from what you'll have basically been trying to show where the opportunity, when you start to do your research and you're planning your way forward, you'll be able to know where the opportunities are going to lie and what might be the areas to look at too. Especially, I believe cybersecurity is one of the major players in technology today. All right. from all aspects of technology. They need to have some knowledge of what cyber threats are. If it is in networking, hardware, software, even web development, programming, you have to know how to build something or work with whatever area, and that is going to be secure, because people want secure devices. So I tend to think of cybersecurity as a blanket over every area right now, be it hardware, software, etc. All right. So it could be a good place to start looking and envisioning where to move forward. All right. I'm seeing it's all right. We have another question. That jobs in IT have become highly popular. Do you believe there are still ample opportunities for new graduates entering the field? What
Well, one of
That's a good question.
yeah.
There
No,
I can't speak
are,
for that right now. I can't.
yeah,
So you will have to help
Yeah.
them with that part, but I could speak for the US.
I will want to say that the opportunities are there, because as I said, the whole scope of technology is being invasive in nearly every department or facet of the organization. All right, so having a little technical background, because even some of the students that are now coming in and doing the associate, as I'll tell them, yeah, some of you all may change your path way down the road. You may start off in IT, get a grasp. It will probably be a backbone for wherever you may head into. Because I said this a year ago, so I was reading an article where doctors were using Bluetooth technology to help a patient walk again. But doctors didn't go in studying Bluetooth and how to do that type of thing. But it's a tool now that is helping them in their job. So having a background in IT or understanding of IT will help you, in a sense, morph in or go into nearly any direction that you may want to further on. So I definitely think it will be a stepping stone or a chance to get yourself into the door in nearly any career path that you're going in, I will say.
Yeah.
All right. So there's hope for you in IT in a sense.
But for me, as to answer that, right?
Mm.
Part of the problem locally is that a lot of jobs they ask for experience, and that is very hard part.
That is very tricky.
Because,
Yes.
well, so how I was able to get over that was through the OJT system. So I started my career. I had to bite real small money that OJT paid for a little while, because I mean, I just needed to gain that experience for me to be able to, move forward or get where I needed to go in my career. So that 2 years with the OJT is where I was able to have that experience to be able to put on my resume to make myself marketable for, future jobs.
Yeah. I would say having the knowledge in IT is not enough. Being able to market yourself differently is also important. So, as I mentioned before, certs is a marketing tool. In my part, right, let us be honest. To me, when you get an international degree, you get a little more respect. That's how I see it. That's how Trinidadians think. So that was my thinking as well, that if I go to the US and gain experience and come back, then I will make myself more marketable. But the reality is, everything that I know now, maybe for this whole year that I spent here so far, I already learned in ROYTEC. So the other twist to that is to make yourself marketable, information that you already have, see what you could do with it. All right. So if you learn networking, go into networking a little more. The thing about IT is you don't necessarily need to work for somebody to start your career in IT. You could sit down and make an app. You could make a website. You could start a company doing networking. The simple things as everybody nowadays want a CCTV camera and all these different things, because we know how crime is in Trinidad and Tobago. That is an opportunity. That is networking. So you can specify in that, learn something in that, and start doing that as a side hustle. But
Yeah.
that also applies to your experience. You
Yes,
have
yeah,
experience doing this.
definitely.
So don't think that you need to work for somebody to gain an experience. You could have a project that you want to do for yourself, or the thing about IT is seeing a need that could be the simplest need. People want to move from point A to point B and meeting that need with technology.
Yeah,
And
some solution.
some solution, let's create a solution. It could be a simple solution. The final project should be where you're thinking, what can I do to change something that is around me? And even you do a final project as a test, and then after school, continue building on it. Continue building on it, and you could find a solution for something, and that will be considered experience for maybe the job that you want to go to.
Yeah. Yep. And well, as we're getting close to time here, so I just want to synopsis some of that there. And the internship sometimes may be an opportunity, you may get a chance to do that. Sometimes you may have to sell yourself for free, you know, go to a company, talk to them and say, I wouldn't mind coming in, you know, on afternoons after school or something like that. That's to get a little experience, because again, it's getting that experience. I also try to tell the students as well, what we're doing in class, the little projects you're doing, you're learning how to create a database, you're learning how to write program, do things, apply it as probably home, practice it at home, see how you can do a home project on your own and practice. That way you're going to get experience. Again, you could at least still talk about that if you're going to interview. If they ask if you had an experience, you could talk about your experience of what you've done with it as well. So sometimes start with yourself, see how you can help yourself or use some of these tools to enhance something around you. All right. Or even a friend or neighbor. Now, ROYTEC doesn't have this, but when I was doing my bachelor's at Monroe College in New York, we had a program, a site program, Students in Free Enterprise, which it was a school club, but what it did, and a few other schools had it too, because it'll have a competition out of it. Every school will give their best project. So what we'll do is that whatever field, if you're in accounts, finance, IT, etc., you create little projects in your community. So we'll go out in the community, like find businesses and say, look, we want to work with you all to probably help you out with your books. For me, I had just left ROYTEC and went up there. I had a little training. I started a training for teaching the seniors in the community about the computer. So like on a Friday, we didn't used to have classes. We will have set up a classroom, have elderly people from the community come teach them how to use the computer. So we were teaching them some little skills like that. So we don't have anything like that right now in ROYTEC per se yet. Maybe we might, but again, do things where in your community, probably go and help persons in the community with some of the skills that you have learned. All right, that way, again, you get any practice and experience that you'll be able to talk about it when given the opportunity. All right. So yeah, you have to sometimes create the opportunities of where you can get the experience. All right. I know you're supposed to be going until 12:30. I'm not sure how much time we have or how long we could go again. All right, but hopefully we were able to open your eyes into some of the opportunities or options that can be utilized by you or grow your career in a sense. All right. And as highlighted, the experience is sometimes the hardest part to gain in that. All right. Again, for me, it made it a little easier that I did have a job in the field before and was getting into it, but I can see the problems that arise of not being in the field and trying to learn all of this. Again, the equipment is not there. The resources are not there. So it makes it a little harder. So try, I'll say, to see how you can do it in the lives around you. Teach persons in the community or try to develop projects within your community that can help, or find a small business that is probably starting off and offer to help them in some way with the skills that you're learning. All right, build a database for them, do some programming that might help them, etc. Offer your services for free and see. Again, not many people may say, well, yeah, come open your doors and welcome you, but at least you have to try and put yourself out there. Try and again, if one door closes, try again. There might be somebody else who will probably latch on and say, all right, yeah, let's give you a try and give you that opportunity to make your way on your journey. All right, because everybody's journey is going to be a little different, and hopefully through these talks you might hear some a journey that might be similar to where you are going and probably might shed some light in your direction. All right. So best of luck for those of you all who have been listening. Hopefully we're able to at least shed some light for you. All right.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheldon Lando. He is a part-time lecturer right here at UWI-ROYTEC. So thank you very, very much.
And started at ROYTEC as well too.
Oh, nice. So alumni all around. Lovely, lovely. And I'd just like to, on behalf of the management team here at UWI-ROYTEC, extend heartfelt thanks to our alumni who came by to share in their experience, the challenges that they encountered, and defining their path that they are now walking themselves and living the IT life, etc. And really thank you all for sharing these insights that will hopefully inspire those who haven't yet made a decision to concretize their pathway in IT, that they've had enough food for thought, right? And just to remind the persons that who is here, we will be posting this video in our UWI-ROYTEC YouTube channel. So those of your colleagues who are also thinking about the IT path, you could share that with them when it's available. And to remind you that on the 10th of July, we have our career day at UWI-ROYTEC, where we'll have different companies, business, IT, education, teacher education, etc., who have viable vacancies that you could, put yourselves up for, so you could have a mini mock interview, etc. So this is really our second conversation in the series that we have. So again, thank you, Kishon, Kirby, and Sheldon for your insights.
Thank you for having me.
There's no
This
cost.
session wasn't long enough.
I know.
Yes,
It's
much more to
share.
It should just be a taste and a teaser, to get them inspired. Because some of us, still towing the line on where we want to go and what we could do with really an IT qualification. And I think we touched on that enough to give persons, some questions that they could come to us and ask. And they can feel free, marketing team is there to answer the questions. We have the chat feature in our website that they could utilize to get those questions answered as well. So again, thank you all very much. And to our attendees, thank you for joining us. And have a good day, everyone. Enjoy your weekend ahead.